G'day everyone and welcome back to the channel. This video is going to be slightly different from the usual because of an idea I had a few weeks ago. So in 2 weeks time, my wife, my son and I, we're heading up the coast to break in our new car. Yep, still not here yet. And apparently I am picking it up next week, but we're literally picking it up. We won't have much time with it and we are heading off up to Queensland. We're going to spend a few nights in the city and a few nights in the remote areas to do some camping. So when we go away camping, we usually like to bring with us a few luxuries. A fridge, freezer, an inverter, hot water shower, USB charging, an electric blanket, that type of thing. And to power all of that, we need a secondary battery, which I can't set up right now because I don't have the car. So I looked on the market and there are a lot of options from your budget-friendly King's gear all the way to your projector battery hubs, and even as much as you want to spend on the new Red Arc Go Block. But it's not really for me, and I decided I want to make my own battery box, and I'm going to use my old faithful ESKY. So this ESKY is about 20 years old and it has been through a lot. It was a hand-me-down from my parents and it's floated overnight down a river and we eventually found it. It's been used as a seat. It's great for draining fluids out of the RX-7, and surprisingly it's been a good ESKY, so it's only fitting that we give it a new lease of life with some 12-volt goodies and bring it back to life. So the basic rundown of this setup is 100 amps of lithium, and it's going to be charged purely by the solar panel, which is going to be mounted to this Rhino platform. These are all the parts I have for the car. I really can't wait to get this car. And the battery will be monitored by this Renogy 500 amp battery monitor. Everything's going to be fused and protected, and I've also got a battery isolator on the way. So yeah, hoping to cram all of this stuff into that little ESKY. So yeah, I really hope it fits, but by my guesstimate, I think it'll fit. And tonight, I'm going to mock fit the battery into the ESKY. Alright, so the battery is nicely mounted inside the ESKY and it's really secure. She's not going anywhere. I used 2 aluminium L brackets, you can see on the short side of the battery, and one on the long side of the battery. And these are just riveted in with some of the larger sized aluminium rivets from Bunnings. That just keeps the battery in place, but it doesn't really stop it from flying out this way. So I put a battery stay here. This is just a kind of keeper bracket, and there are just 3 bolts there with 3 riv nuts behind it. So yeah, definitely nicely mounted now. I'm happy with that. I guess the plan now is to try to figure out where I can mount everything. I'm probably going to put the fuse box up here just for ease of access. It does still fit underneath the lid, which will put this in a really good spot. I reckon I'm going to try to fit the solar regulator in here just to use some of that wasted space. And I'm also going to try to figure out where I'm going to put the isolator, the battery monitor, the not switches but the USB chargers, probably around here, and run all my wiring in there. So yeah, everything should fit, but I just want to spend some time to make sure it is well thought out to minimize any excessive wiring and to make sure, yeah, everything just is as neat as possible in the limited space we have. So I'm going to sleep on it, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Would you look at that? I'm pretty happy with how it's turned out. This is exactly what I had in mind, and this is just hilarious. I've never really been so excited about an ESKY, and functionally I think it's just perfect. I've got 4 USB ports here. I've got 2 cigarette lighter sockets, and I'm probably going to run my fridge off one of these. Otherwise, I can use one of these Anderson plugs, but I know I'm going to use the yellow one for the solar circuit to the solar panel on the roof rack. One of these is going to be for 240 volt battery charging. So say one day I don't have sunlight and I need to charge this battery, I can just grab this and take it inside and pop it onto my C-Tech charger. I've got my battery isolator here, which I need to secure, and the battery monitor is just mounted in the corner here. For the battery monitor, I'm going to run the shunt behind here because the negative terminal is just on this side of the box, and the solar regulator fits just, like literally just, so really tight fitting. I think the wiring is going to be a bit of a nightmare, but once it's in, I'm not going to need to touch it. So I'm going to get onto that tonight, and yeah. Alright, so it is almost midnight and I've got work tomorrow, but this is done. So I'm very happy with how it's turned out. All the wiring is intact. The only thing I need to really secure down is this MPPT controller, which I'm going to probably just yank it in there and just leave it there. Before I put the battery back in, I just wanted to show you guys what I've done with the wiring and all the tech I've tried to cram inside this little box. So this is the shunt for the battery monitor. On the shunt, there are 2 sides of the shunt. One side goes to the battery on the negative side of the battery, and nothing else. Everything, all the other negatives will go to this side of the shunt. It's really important you do it this way, otherwise you end up with a battery monitor which isn't reading your charge and your discharge properly. And that's actually what I did with my old setup. I hadn't done it properly, and the battery monitor pretty much just became a volt gauge. So onto your 3 Anderson plugs. I've got the yellow Anderson plug going to the solar panel, and the 2 grey Anderson plugs. One is for the 240 volt charging circuit, and one is for any Anderson plug device which will be limited by 15 amps. If you want to know how to wire these Anderson plugs, please go ahead and check out my other video. I have a huge love for Anderson plugs. I think they belong in every 12 volt setup, and I recommend you look into them. Onto the 12 volt accessories, and I have one circuit powering these 4 USB chargers and another circuit powering the 2 cigarette lighter sockets down there. All the wiring runs diagonally across behind the battery underneath the controller, and this will all these cables will terminate into the fuse box, which is going to be sitting right here. Apart from that, that's it. I've got some EVA foam here just to cushion the battery a bit, give it some more padding and support. But that's pretty much a rundown of it. Pretty simple, really. It just takes a lot of time to do this properly. So once I get the battery back in, hopefully all these devices will power up, and I'm pretty much good to go. It's on to testing the battery and testing this battery, because this is a Voltex battery from eBay, and it has a lot of good feedback, but it also has some bad feedback. So I do plan on doing a quick test on this battery. Hopefully we can run it through the battery monitor and give you guys the right results. So it's been 2 weeks since we finished the ESKY project. Just doing some testing right now, and I've got my 79. I got that last week and I'm loving it. And I just thought I'd just run you guys through the 12 volt system that we are using when we're going away next week. So I've got my solar panel mounted on the roof rack. That's just a Rhino platform, and that's running to a yellow Anderson plug right there behind the headboard. And on the other side of that plug, it is running straight to the ESKY. My solar input here behind the ESKY into the solar regulator, which is charging up the battery. So far, it's been great. On the charging side, absolutely no problems at all. It's pretty cool when it's charging, you can see the battery monitor glowing, so it's got a really cool effect. Right now, it is kind of in the afternoon. There's no sun hitting the solar, so really not getting much charge. But I did see it top out at about 80 watts today. It's plenty to top up this battery. So onto the testing. I have been testing a whole array of appliances and some 12 volt things. I got myself a projector inverter. This is the 300 watt pure sine wave inverter. A lot smaller than what I'm used to, but you know, to be honest, 90% of the time you're going to be charging small appliances. So this is a Milwaukee battery charger, my drone charger, and I'm also running a laptop. You know, you charge a toothbrush, that kind of thing. I really wanted to run my rice cooker on this, but I have a feeling it's not going to be enough. I either have to get a smaller rice cooker than what I already have, or I just, you know, I'll make rice over the fire. So yeah, everything's running well. The 12 volt accessories are running well. I've got the 4 USB chargers there. I've got this one. This is currently running my lights. I've got 4 lights, and this is gonna probably run my shower, hot water shower. So yeah, everything's working great. Nothing really else I need to do to this box. I did leave it outside for a few days, and I did notice that there were a few drops of water sitting down there. So somewhere, probably on the top, it's leaking a little bit of water. I might just put a seal there, or I might just, you know, drill a hole in the base. So yeah, as this plane goes by, I'm gonna wrap up this video. I'm going to Morden next week. We're going to go away for a few nights, and yeah, hopefully bring you guys along with us. But until then, enjoy, and I will see you in the next video.